Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Justin Feldman with Feldman Physical Therapy and Performance, and today we're going to take a look at strength work and specifically measuring your heart rate during strength work. So this is something that we think a lot of endurance athletes leave something on the table by not doing, and so we're going to explain why it's an important thing that we want you to start doing. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know by now we are big fans of heart rate training. We want you tracking your heart rate as a way of measuring the intensity of your run workouts, of your bike workouts, even swim workouts at times. This can be a great way to measure the intensity, but we don't talk a lot about measuring your heart rate during strength work, and this is something that a lot of us neglect and often leave something on the table by doing it. So we know endurance athletes, they don't love doing the strength work. They always fight us on it. So we want to make sure if you're doing it, that you're getting the most out of it. Now, before we get in too far into this, it's important that you understand heart rate zones, right? And what are the different heart rate zones? And so we talk about it from the standpoint of running, biking. We're talking about that zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5, right? And same thing, strength training, same heart rate zones, right? But we want to measure these zones because each zone, you're working on a different thing and you're working on a different energy transport system and you're working on a different way of fueling your muscles and keeping your body going. And so as you're doing this, right, we want to make sure that you're in the zone you want for what you're trying to train. And so we talk a lot, right, with running about, there's a lot out there about zone 2 training, and same thing with cycling. And so as we get into strength work, right, we want to make sure we're in the zones we want to be in order to improve that aerobic capacity or the efficiency of our muscles to work and carry stuff to us and just get us towards our goals. Now, before we go any further, I need your help. If you could jump down below, hit the like button, subscribe to the video. If you find this information useful, helpful, helps us get a bigger reach, helps the channel get out to more people, play with all the algorithms, it's all good stuff. Now, when we have endurance athletes, right, and we're not tracking our heart rate accurately during strength work, right, then one of the things we're missing is we're not being able to measure that load that training session has. And so if we're keeping track of our training load, okay, our heart rate is something we can use consistently between different activities. And so when we're running, we're looking at our training load based on heart rate and pace and how much time we're in each zone, and then we can use that to figure out a training load. When we're strength training, right, we can do the same thing. We can measure our heart rate, and then we know that training load, and that helps us figure out what we're going to need to do as far as recovery from that workout and what effect that workout is going to have on our overall training. And as a coach and as a PT, I like to be able to look at that information to figure out where the best places to lay strength training work into an athlete's schedule is, and also when we might want them to pull back and maybe not do a strength workout, or when we might say, no, I want you to go ahead and do it, like now your body's ready, you're gonna get the most out of this workout right now. And if we're not measuring our heart rate as we're going, we're not gonna be able to do that. Now, we look at heart rate, right? It's important that we have an accurate way of measuring it. And these wrist-based devices, your watch, right? They're getting better, right? We're seeing it more and more accurate, especially when it comes to running, a little bit with cycling, right? But when it comes to strength work, right, there's a lot of arm movement, there's gonna be a lot of wrist movement, and getting that good connection is gonna be hard. And so this is where we want you to have something like this Coros heart rate strap, okay, that we've been talking about for a while. Super accurate, pairs directly to your watch, has the dual Bluetooth. That's the one that we like. I like it better than a chest strap. Chest strap kind of gets uncomfortable, especially with strength work and just the different ways that you're moving. And so really recommend that. We want to make sure that you're getting an accurate number, right? We don't want to just be putting garbage data into these formulas for training load. We want to make sure if you're spending the time to track it, that you have an accurate number. Now, as you look at it, right, we're not just looking at the heart rate in order to tell the intensity of the lifting, right? We're also able to gauge your recovery, right, between sets by using your heart rate, and you're able to know how you're doing on this workout compared to another workout. And so just like we talk about if you go out for a run and all of a sudden your heart rate is significantly higher on a given run that you know than some other time, right? We could say, hey, what's going on? What's different? Maybe we're not recovered well. Maybe we didn't get enough sleep. Maybe we're dehydrated. Same thing happens in the gym. If you know that, after a set of squats at a given weight, your heart rate generally starts to come back down after a certain period of time, and it's not doing that, then we want to know why and what's going on. Especially in the gym too, this might mean, hey, you know what? I'm really not recovering from these sets. I need to lighten the load a little bit, right? So we can use less weight, similar to just slowing our pace when we're running. Or we might say today might not be a great day for strength work, depending upon where we are in our training cycle and what our ultimate goals are. We can also use this heart rate data to help us focus on what effect we're having as you're building up strength. And so are you building strength? Are you building power? Are we building muscular endurance? And is what we're doing what we're setting out to do? Are we achieving the goals we set out to do? I think, as we talk about people giving us pushback on dedicating the time to strength training, right? It's not as much fun as running. It's not as much fun as biking. I think that this is what we want to make sure we're doing, is we're getting everything out of it as we go into it. So hopefully we got you understanding why tracking this heart rate is so important. And what we want you to do now is go out there, right? Don't skip those gym days, get your strength work in, but track it and make sure you know what you're tracking and make sure you have an accurate way to track that data. And we'll see you right back here soon.